what her office does for the vets. Most people don't know that that is the number one job of a representative, to have an office and take care of the veterans. And I think that, it's helpful to make that point.
It's amazing what they'll brag about now. It really is. Well, when you've done so little, it's amazing what you'll brag about. When you brag about doing the basics of your job, you're bragging about taking care of the veterans. You better take care of the veterans. The veterans. Bigger sticker.
Yeah.
There's probably some campaign finance law against it. There is a campaign finance law against those streamers behind the airplanes that go up there. Yeah. Otherwise, you'd already seen Jesse Kelly's going to take away your Social Security, I'm sure. Sir?
I have a question for you. Gabriel Giffords has been on Greta, I think 2 or 3 times in the last few months. Why don't you get your puss on the screen? Demand equal time. Make it fair and balanced. I didn't know who you were a few months ago.
Well, here's the problem. You don't demand equal time with anybody.
Oh, yeah. Say no name goes neck and neck with Gabriel.
Well,
let's hear the other side.
Mark Levin's been pretty good to us, and Hugh Hewitt's been good to us, and these national guys have been pretty good to us. Look, we'd love to be on Greta.
Suggest it to him. Got nothing to lose.
Hey, believe me, we're working on it, all right?
Email box, we want
I can't snap my fingers and make it happen. Rupert Murdoch is not on my speed dial here, so working on it.
What we could do is send all of us, if everybody in here sent an email to Greta Sustern and said, we want to see Jesse Kelly.
Just clear out the whole slate.
I heard the other day that Sarah Palin has got you on her Take Back 20 list. Is that a good thing too?
You bet.
I think it is.
You bet. Take Back 20, I think, is the website. I don't know. I haven't actually seen it yet, but I'm told we're one of the 20 targeted candidates.
2 others in Arizona also.
Yeah, Schweikert and Dosar, 1 and 5. Good for money. We need it.
Well, what are you doing to get younger people in here? I look at this crowd here, and there's not very many people under 60.
Oh, nuts. Well, the robocall went out to everybody. And what you see in here is an indication of who votes. Even during the Obama election, it was supposed to be, every college kid in America is going to go out and vote. It's the young people vote. They were all sleeping in eating Hot Pockets that day. Don't worry, it was up 1%. The numbers don't say they vote. The further you get on the other side of 40, the numbers say you're more likely to vote and be involved.
And they're the first ones to complain.
Yeah, but don't be too hard on them because you probably were too, as was I.
Every election since I was 18.
It was not an indictment on you, it was an indictment on all of us. And you've heard me say this a million times. Moses was probably complaining about how worthless the next generation is. Everybody talks about that, and maybe you were. But the truth is, how many of you were activists at 18 years old? You didn't care about that. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Most of you probably cared more about chasing men or chasing women, going to school, getting a degree, getting a new car. Look, I'm not saying it's right, and it's not, because it is their future, but I am saying, careful on how much we indict the next generation. It's, like I said, Moses was complaining.
It's kind of funny, I'm Kevin Moses.
Don't complain about the next generation.
I'll try not to. I'm 50, and I wanted to talk to you or see what your goal is on the Social Security plan, because I don't have enough time to switch into this other plan.
Then don't switch. Our plan is 55 and under, it's a choice.
Right, but those that do, who's going to pay my Social Security when I do get that? And we're the guys that are 55. Who's going to pay their
Good
Social
question.
Security?
What's the funding source for it? We get that now. That is why, by very definition, it is a Ponzi scheme. That is the dictionary definition, literally, of what a Ponzi scheme is. But the problem is there's no money now. And you ask how we're going to fund it, the same way we would fund it now. We have to grow our economy massively. We don't need the businesses that are here paying more in taxes. We don't need the people that are here paying more in taxes. We need more businesses. We need more people working. And that's the only way we're going to fund it. Because right now, excuse me, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, they take up every single dime that comes into the federal government. Almost everything else is borrowed or printed. So the only way we can pay for anything right now is by growing the economy, and that's how we pay for it. Double-digit economic growth that only happens by reducing the tax burden and bringing business back.
And regulation.
Yeah, less regulation.
Wasn't the original Social Security fence, and then later Congress, there was so much money in it, that later Congress had started spending it?
There was never a trust fund or lockbox, or what, it was sold as that. They spent it the second they got the revenues. And they're politicians. They would not, they can't look at 2 dimes on the sidewalk without figuring out a way to steal it and buy a vote with it. That's what they do. They do. Sir?
Would you support Paul Ryan from Wisconsin, would you support his plan for Medicare?
I actually just talked to him last week. I could not say right now that I'm going to come out and support his plan for Medicare only because I have read through the whole thing. I've heard the bullet points on it, whatnot, and what I see I like. I like anything that increases the quality and increases the access to seniors while getting the burden off of what it's going to be. But I'd be lying to you if I said, hey, I support it right now, when that would be going against what I just told you I wouldn't do. I have to read it first. So, Mo?
How strong are you going to be in supporting those of us that got caught in the window, particularly teachers and healthcare workers, nursing and assistants? We were working in our careers in the late 60s through the early 90s, where pensions, you had to be in a facility for 10 years or longer. So not only is Social Security an issue, but the value of the pension systems for those people are much less. How are you going to help protect those of us in that 55 through 65 range that are getting it on both ends with the way the economy is going?
Now, I cannot speak educatedly about your pension plan and what's happening there and what's happening to a lot of the pension plans,
No, it
because each
has more to
person's
do with
different and whatnot.
investment time and how little funds you have because you didn't accrue till you had been in your employ until 10 years.
I honestly don't know how to answer it without getting your specifics on it. I'll tell you this, people are wiped out.
Yeah.
They're absolutely wiped out. I've told this story before, a month or so back, maybe a little bit longer than that. My wife and I, we have a Pulte home that we bought right before the bubble burst. Just don't let me get into it right now. We're never leaving, ever. We're never leaving. Either way, the head guy for Pulte, when we moved in, I mean, he was the big cheese. He delivered me a Domino's pizza the other night. People are wiped out. The economy's destroyed. Retirement's destroyed. And that's what happens when you get loans for 30 years under government coercion, people that can't afford it. And I know that's a terrible answer, but the truth of the matter is right now people are wiped out. And all we get right now is the growth of government, more spending, higher taxes, and we're finished. And the stock market right now simply won't respond the way those of us with 401ks needed to respond because of uncertainty. Because every day there's a new industry seized, a new tax coming, a new regulation coming. The government just passed a bill that gives them the power to seize private companies. What is the stock market going to do with that? They flee. We're losing money. And that's why my 10% flat tax is very important, because it gets rid of these horrendous capital gains taxes that are chasing out investment out of this country. There's $12 trillion in investment outside the United States of America. $12 trillion. That would be sprinting to come here were we to stop punishing them for investing. Amen. What do you think that could do for our pensions?
A little white thing, I don't have any questions to ask, but we put a sign, Jesse Kelly, in our yard. We had 2 young men, and we were saying, we're not reading this something else, we had 2 young men that we hired to come in and take a lot of our bushes down the other day. And my husband was saying, I hope you're having a good day. And he said, we're having a good day because you have Jesse Kelly's sign in your yard. It doesn't work.
That's good. It does, the signs and bumper stickers, they work. And you know what? We've got a pretty good reputation out there right now. Right now we're pretty proud of it. Despite all the smears and whatnot, most people are not believing it. And that's good. Sir?
Yeah, there were some people at work the other day who were saying that they're working on the economy, regular paper companies, construction, whatnot, and they said that they were going to take vacation